यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन व्रज जनरञ्जन यामुनातीरवनचारि यामुनातीरवनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन यामुना तीरवनचारि यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन यामुना तीरवनचारि हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharidhari. Yashodanandana Raja Janarandana Yamuna Tiravanachari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langhayate Girin Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Harihi Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So welcome to this wonderful session, which is like the penultimate session or probably the last Gita session of this year. Quite amazing. We started in the mid of September. We extended in October, November, and here we are now towards the end of December. And next week, I'm being told that many of you are on holidays, so we're calling it an off. So today I thought could be a New Year's session. Happy New Year session. This should be something which sets our mood for the coming year. Actually, there is no such thing as Happy New Year or Sad New Year. New Year, according to the Vedic calendar, happens during the Gaur Purnima time, appearance of Lord Chaitanya. The holy festival is the Vedic calendar New Year. However, since a majority of the world is celebrating the 31st of December as the New Year, where no season changes and no crops get harvested or no phenomenal thing actually happens other than the opening of some liquor bottles. But since majority of the year is celebrating, so we thought we should also do it. I was thinking what subject matter to discuss about, and then I thought there's no better, greater subject matter than glorification of the Acharyas. So the title for today's session is Similarities between Narada Muni and Srila Prabhupada. Similarities between whom? Sri Narada Muni and Srila Prabhupada. How many of you know who is Sri Narada Muni? Who is Sri Narada Muni? Brahma Manasa Putra. All putras of Brahma are Manasa only. I don't remember Brahma producing any bio. He is a Shakti Avesh avatar of Krishna. Very good. What is the Shakti which is Avesh in him? Kya Shakti hai? Shakti Avesh means when the Lord empowers one living entity, Jiva Tattva. When he empowers a Jiva Tattva with some Shakti, that is called Shakti Avesh. So what Shakti has Krishna invested in Narada Muni? Sorry? Naam avatar. This is very strange avatar. Kali Kale Nama Rupa Krishna avatar. In the form of the name Krishna only has advented in Kali Yuga. So Narada Muni is the preaching incarnation of Krishna. You know what is preaching? Prachar Shakti. Krishna has the power of preaching. Krishna Shakti nahi vina tar pravartan. Without being empowered by Krishna, nobody can spread the holy name of the Lord. Nobody can request someone to chant the holy name of the Lord. And nobody can make people chant the holy name of the Lord. So the supreme pinnacle of that potency, the ultimate preaching, the ultimate preacher is Narada Muni. And why he is able to preach like that? Because Krishna has invested preaching Shakti, Prachar Shakti, preaching potency. What is preaching? Preaching means spreading and discussing the name, form, qualities, and pastimes. Naam, Roop, Guna, Leela. When it is being broadcast by someone in an unadulterated way, so much so that the Lord is very pleased out of it. And many people take to Krishna consciousness because of that. That is called as preaching. So Narada Muni is the preaching incarnation of the Lord. Any other details? He is Manas Putra of Brahma. Very good. Any other details do you know about Narada Muni?
Narada Muni can travel in three lokas.
Which are those three lokas? Okay. Prithvilok and? Okay.
He has all the secrets of all three lokas.
Will you be surprised if I tell you there are no three lokas, there are 14 planetary systems? Will you be surprised? Do you know that there are 14 planetary systems? How many of you can tell me the names of the 14 planetary systems? In sequence. In sequence. So, primarily the world is divided into three sections, or the material world. Each universe has 14, especially our universe has 14 planetary systems. We are on the Bhurlok, called as the Earth plane. There are many planets like Earth, which is called as the earthly planetary systems, Bhurloka. People with a specific kind of karma, they land on this loka. Higher than Bhurloka is Bhuvarloka. Then higher than Bhuvarloka is the Swargloka. So on Bhurloka, human beings stay. On Bhuvarloka, all these Rakshasas and ghosts, they have made their residence, Bhuvarloka. After that is Swarglok. Swarlok, who stays in Swarglok? Do you know? Yes, the Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Ityadi. And that's not one loka. There are many planetary systems in that realm, which is called as the Swargloka. After Swargloka comes Maharloka, where the pious living entities, they stay. Those who have not committed sinful activities, they go and stay there. After that is Janaloka. Janaloka is the stage where the Sapta Rishis stay. After Maharloka, Janaloka comes Taploka. In Taploka, the four Kumaras are staying. And then highest is Satyaloka, or the abode of Lord Brahma. So these are the 7 planetary systems above the earth. And below the earth is Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, and Patal. These are the 14 planetary systems. However, in common language, people combine Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, and Patal as one, calling the whole thing as Patal. Just like people who are in the northern part of the country, they sometimes say Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and Kerala is Madras. It's not wrong, because 200 years ago, the whole area was called as Madras province. So similarly, people who don't know much detail, they say everything is Patal. Lower planetary system means Patal. So Patal, and then Earth, and Swarg, 3. But actually there are more details to it. And I've just talked about one universe. There are millions and billions of such universes. Our universe is the smallest. Above the universe is the layer of Earth. What each universe is surrounded by Earth. X is the diameter of that Earth layer. 10x is the diameter of water. And then 100x is the diameter of earth, water, fire. and then 1000x is the diameter of air, and then 10,000x earth, water, fire, air, ether, that is open space. And then even beyond 10,000 into 10 or 100, like that is mind, intelligence, and ego. These are various layers. So each universe is like a bubble surrounded by these layers. And no living entity can cross these layers on their own without divine help. All these universes covered by so many layers are floating in the causal ocean or the Karana Samudra. Above the universe or above the material world is Kailash, and above Kailash is Brahma Jyoti, the layer or the impersonal effulgence of Krishna. Above that, the spiritual world starts. Outside the causal ocean, on the other side of the Viraja river, is the spiritual world, Adhyatma, or the Divya Lokas, Chintamani Lokas. Everywhere in the material world, whether it is Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Patal, or Bhuvarlok, Bhulok, Janlok, Maharlok, Taplok, Brahmalok, wherever you go, you will find birth, disease, old age, and death. Four things are common. But as soon as you cross Brahma Jyoti and enter the spiritual world, which is commonly known as Vaikuntha Lokas, which is above Kailash, birth, death, old age, and disease cease to exist. Even in the spiritual world, there are various realms. First is the Vaikuntha Lokas, where the Supreme Lord is worshipped with a lot of awe and reverence as master. Higher than that is that realm where the Lord is worshipped as a beloved master, which is Ayodhya. Not just a master, but a beloved master. And higher than Ayodhya is Mathura. No, sorry, Dwarka. Higher than Dwarka is Mathura. Higher than Mathura is Gokul or Golok Vrindavan. That is the highest abode, the original abode. All are original, but that is the highest abode of the Lord. So Narad Muni, you said, can travel in the three lokas. Your statement is correct, but more correctness to that statement is Narad Muni can travel in the spiritual world and the material world without any passport, without any visa. And yes, he does know the secrets of all places. So that is Narad Muni. Any other details? How many of you know the previous life of Narad Muni? Yes.
He has son of one.
That is previous to previous. Narad Muni originally was a Gandharva. He was a great singer. I'll cut the story in very short, just to tell you the three lives of Narad Muni, which is mentioned in the Vedic literature. So he was a very great Gandharva, a very great singer, knower of all intricacies of music, very good looking. So he used to be called in various assemblies of demigods to sing. And demigods, they don't like to hear all these movie songs, film songs. Like we celebrate Ganpati, we dance like this. And then we play all movie songs, Kannada songs, Hindi songs, Telugu songs. Ganpati and other devatas, they hate to hear such songs. They only want to hear Hari Katha and Hari Kirtan. So Narad Muni, when he was a Gandharva, he was called for doing Kirtan. But whenever he used to do Kirtan, many people used to come and sit around him because he used to sing very nice. And 70% of those people used to be women. And they used to glorify Narad Muni, so nicely you're singing, so nicely you're dancing, so good you look, so nice you sing. So one day Narad Muni got carried away. That time he was not Narad Muni, he was a Gandharva. And instead of glorifying the Lord, he started glorifying the sky, the nature, the beautiful women, the beautiful society. So the devatas, they got angry. They said that you are in the assembly of sages and the demigods meant to do Hari Katha and Hari Kirtan. But instead you have started glorifying things which are impermanent. You are speaking like a Shudra. Therefore, we curse you that you will take birth as a Shudra. So in his next life, he becomes the son of a maid servant, a woman who by nature, by upbringing, by qualification, and by practice is a Shudra. Narad Muni did not even know the name of his father. That was the condition. His mother also didn't know the name of his father. However, once during the Chaturmas period, her mother was very saintly and devoted to serving great devotees. During the Chaturmas period, the period where it rains very incessantly, generally the sages, they don't travel much. They like to sit in one place and focus and go deeper in the practice of Krishna consciousness. And in the other 8 months, they will travel all around the world and preach. So in those 4 months, these sages, they decided to stay in the ashram, in one of the ashrams, and the mother of Narad Muni was the servant there, and Narad Muni was 5 years old. And so the mother and the boy, mother and the son, they were serving those sages. For 4 months, Narad Muni was completely attached to the service of these sages. He was not like any ordinary boy interested in playing, singing, dancing. He used to come early morning and start serving the sages, and then he used to listen to their lectures. He used to observe their spiritual practice. The sages also used to teach him. One day, after taking permission from the sages, he took their remnants. Generally, when great devotees eat, if someone is fortunate, they leave something in the plate. And if somebody accepts that, they become extremely fortunate. In the Vedic scriptures, it is mentioned, Bhakta pada dhuli, Bhakta pada jal, Bhakta bhungta uchishta ei teen mahabal. The dust of the lotus feet of a devotee, the water which has washed the lotus feet of a devotee, and the remnants of the devotee, these are 3 great brahmastras in spiritual life. If you are having some struggle in spiritual life, somehow get any of these 3. Then your spiritual life will progress very Mahabal. It will progress very fast. So after taking permission from the sages, and the sages said, okay, Narad Muni once ate the remnants of those sages. And then in the association of those sages, after getting the Mahabal, he became so potent, so advanced, so much attached to the name, form, qualities and pastimes of Krishna that he didn't know anything except Krishna consciousness after that. 4 months passed away, the sages left, they blessed Narad Muni, the small boy, 5 years old, and left. Immediately, after a few days, 3 a.m. in the morning, when his mother woke up to milk the cow, as she was going with a bucket to milk the cow, a snake came and bit the mother. After being separated from the sages, Narad Muni was thinking that I also want to dedicate my life to Krishna consciousness. But the affection of his mother had bound him, and he was not able to dedicate himself for that purpose. And Krishna arranged for this circumstances where his mother passed away, and after that he was just a free boy. And at the age of 5, it is mentioned in Bhagavatam, he started roaming around the world. The whole world is described after that, how he passed through various fields of agriculture. He passed through coal mines, diamond mines, gold mines. He passed through various villages, towns, settlements, military camps. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that this pastime of Narad Muni took place in previous Kali Yuga. So that means even in previous Kali Yuga, whatever is there in this Kali Yuga already existed. That means man is not creating anything new. We are becoming very proud. We are making metros, subways, the flights, and this and that, electricity, nano electricity, artificial intelligence. Everything existed earlier also. The Lord does different pastimes in different ages. And the same avatar, when he comes in different ages, does some slightly different pastimes. In a previous incarnation of Buddha, the people of Kali Yuga were so advanced that they used to travel from one planet to another planet and stay there, not just wear astronaut suit and get some dust and come back. No, they had the ability to travel from one planet to another planet, and there was interplanetary travel happening. And such kind of people, they had spoilt the thought process and the belief and the practices of Earth, speaking about what is happening on other planets. So at that time, Buddha came, and just like in this Kali Yuga, Buddha came and convinced everybody not to eat meat and kill animals and lead a life of ahimsa. In the previous incarnation, Buddha had convinced, don't listen to people of other planets, follow dharma and the Vedic scriptures which have been revealed on this planet. So like that, Narad Muni went across all the world, kept on chanting the holy names, and then quit that body. So first life as a Gandharva, second life as the son of a maidservant, and in third life, he became Narada Muni. So these are the 3 lives of Narad Muni. Now, how many of you don't know who is Srila Prabhupada? Everybody knows. Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of ISKCON, International Society of Krishna Consciousness. And Srila Prabhupada has also been mentioned in various Vedic literatures. In Chaitanya Bhagavat, Lord Chaitanya says that when the people of the Indian subcontinent will escape to other parts of the world, give up the Vedic culture, then at that time I will send my Senapati Bhakta, who will travel to different parts of the world and bring back those people to Krishna consciousness. One prediction by Lord Chaitanya, Senapati Bhakta. He says, I will send my Senapati Bhakta. Who is a Senapati Bhakta? The leader of the devotees of the Lord, that is Senapati Bhakta. Warrior general devotee. Many other predictions are there. Mother Ganges, when she is talking to Lord Krishna at the end of Dwapar Yuga, when Lord Krishna is about to go to Goloka, she says that now you are leaving my Lord. Now the sins, the moment you leave the planet, Kali Yuga will start and these sins will increase. People will come and wash their sins in my waters, and I will not be able to bear separation from you, and sins will increase. Saraswati has already disappeared. I also want to disappear. Krishna said, no, you should not do that. You should continue to exist for some more time in Kali Yuga. In the first part of Kali Yuga, I will again send my Nam Upasak. Nam Upasak means worshipper of my holy name. My Nam Upasak will ignite the fire of Sankirtan all over the world, and he will bring his foreign disciples, foreign-bodied disciples. And when those foreign-bodied disciples, he didn't say foreign-bodied, he says he will go all over the world and bring his disciples. And when those disciples from all over the world will come, those Nam Upasakas, when they will come and have bath in you, you will be purified by touching their body. So this is another prediction about Srila Prabhupada. So like this, Prabhupada and Narad Muni both have been glorified. In today's discussion, I want to focus very specifically at how there is a lot of similarity between Srila Prabhupada and Narad Muni, and how Narad Muni and Srila Prabhupada are doing the same work, and therefore both of them are very confidential servants of the Lord. In the 6th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada writes, 6th canto, 5th chapter, Shloka 22. The immediate spiritual master is the representative of Narad Muni. There is no difference between the instructions of Narad Muni and those of the present spiritual master. So therefore, the more we hear about Narad Muni, the more we hear about Srila Prabhupada, the more we find similarities in their dealings. So I have divided the whole section of today's discussion in various subheadings. If you have some notebooks, you can take note. The first subheading is traveling preachers. Means to say that both Narad Muni and Srila Prabhupada are traveling preachers. They keep traveling to preach. Now we all know how much traveling Narad Muni does. And because Narad Muni's reason for traveling is not sense gratification, but service to Lord, so all barriers in his travels have also been removed. There is no toll gate, no traffic signal for Narad Muni. He can just go wherever he wants, whenever he wants. That's because his purpose is pure. Similarly, when our purpose in the mission of Lord Krishna, in the mission of Lord Srila Prabhupada is pure, all obstacles will also be removed. So Narad Muni, there is a section in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 6th canto again, where he convinces 10,000 sons of Prajapati Daksha. Prajapati Daksha is also one of the potencies of the Lord, who is responsible for increasing the population of the universe. Prajapati. And their task is not an easy task. Prajapati Daksha, they have long lifespan. He gave birth to 10,000 sons. Now these 10,000 sons, they had to further progenate and create more population. So these days when people have to get married, all they do is to go on a, what is that website? Some website, shadi.com or something. And then they do some clicking, swiping, and then they decide. But in earlier ages, if somebody had to get married, they had to go for tapasya. Because married life means a lot of training. At least the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, and most of the Vaishyas, before marriage, they used to go to Gurukul, minimum for 25 years, and lead a life of complete celibacy, being trained as a servant of Guru. It was very clear to everybody that marriage is not mandatory, it is optional. So therefore, a huge majority of men used to not get married only. They used to remain in the Guru ashram, becoming teachers, acharyas, servants, and continue. But those who were not able to continue in ashram, they used to take permission from their Guru, give certain Guru Dakshina, and leave the ashram, go out and get married. That is why it was seen that kings used to have many, many wives. Because most of the kings were Raj Rishis, and most of the Raj Rishis had no desire to get married. So therefore, whenever a father of a daughter used to find some qualified king, I have 3 daughters, I'll give all. बाद में मिलेगा कि नहीं मिलेगा, कौन मिलेगा, we don't know. So that was the scenario. Dashrath had 300 wives, not just 3, 300. And the kings were also good. They were all Goswamis, and they were all not a slave of their senses, and they were righteous enough, potent enough to take care of so many people, so many queens, and none of them used to feel that I am being exploited or something. So that was the Vedic culture. So Narad Muni convinced 10,000 sons of Prajapati who had gone to do tapasya to become qualified for Grihastha ashram. He told that, see, the purpose of life is to dedicate yourself to the Lord. After Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas is compulsory. Why don't you skip Grihastha and directly take Sannyas and save time? Because the purpose of life is to go back home, back to Godhead, and become a pure devotee of the Lord. Why do you want to take a detour of 25 years? This was Narad Muni's statement. And Narad Muni has convinced many, many people in the Vedic literature to do this. And all of them are not fools, and none of them are Kali Yuga people. Most of them are very intelligent, and most of them are worshipable. So, Daksha Prajapati, when he came to know that 10,000 sons of mine, on the advice of Narad Muni, instead of coming back from tapasya, they decided to remain in tapasya, and from there quit their body and go back to Godhead. He felt very bad. He didn't say anything, just tolerated. Why he tolerated? Because he knew that whatever Narad Muni has done is not wrong. Because human life is meant for this purpose. So he created more sons, another 1,000. They were called as Haryashvas. So those 1,000 sons also went for doing tapasya. Narad Muni came again. And then he said, you should follow in the footsteps of your elder brothers. All your elder brothers have taken sannyas, you also take sannyas. And then he says a poem of 6 or 7 lines, or maybe 6 or 7 shlokas, he says. It's a riddle. Nobody in Kali Yuga can understand it. But these Haryashvas were so intelligent that they could understand. They were not Kali Yuga brains, no. They were actual brains. And whatever Narad Muni said, they understood, and without any further discussion, they also took sannyas. Going, not coming back only. So now Daksha Prajapati became very angry. First 10,000 he took, he tolerated, but next 1,000 he could not tolerate. And so therefore he told Narad Muni that, Narad Muni, you are a rascal. He says exactly this: you are a rascal who does not know how to behave toward others. You may travel all over the universe, but I curse you that you will have no residence anywhere. You know what Narad Muni said after this? He didn't say anything. He just tolerated it. Because Narad Muni, whatever he does, he is an instrument of God. He is an instrument of Krishna. Daksha Prajapati forgot that whatever great sages like Narad Muni do, it is the will of Krishna. It is the will of God. So if God wants this to happen, then what is my problem? Because Daksha Prajapati cursed Narad Munis, therefore Daksha Prajapati fell down from his position, later on offended Lord Shiva, got killed, his head had to be replaced by a goat, then he had goat head, and then he committed suicide, and so many problems that Daksha happened. And then in next life also he is having enmity with Narad Muni, enviousness against Lord Shiva, so many problems. Whatever Daksha did was wrong, and then it is clear in the Vedic literature he suffered for it. But Narad Muni showed ideal Vaishnava behavior. He tolerated the curse, and Srila Prabhupada gives the following comment in the purport to that verse. Srila Prabhupada says, actually such a punishment is a boon for a preacher. A preacher is known as Parivrajaka-charya, an acharya or a teacher who always travels for the benefit of human society. Now listen very carefully. This shows the similarity between Narad Muni and Prabhupada. In the Parampara system, disciplic succession from Narad Muni, I have also been cursed. Although I have many temples and centers all over the world that would be suitable places of residence, I cannot stay anywhere. For I have been cursed by the parents of my young disciples. Since Krishna consciousness movement was started, I have been traveling all over the world 2 or 3 times in a year in an old body. And although I am provided comfortable places to stay wherever I go, I cannot stay anywhere for more than 3 days or a week. So the same life which Narad Muni has, he cannot stay anywhere. He has to travel. Actually, Daksha Prajapati did a favor by cursing. A preacher should not stay in one place. If a preacher makes one place as his permanent place and continues to stay there, then it is very harmful. Harmful for him, because he starts getting attached to the bed, to the room, to the pillow, to the fan, to the glass, to the water heater, geyser. Therefore, our Goswamis, they used to never stay under the same tree also. Every night to sleep, they used to change the tree also. So a preacher should not stay in one place. He should constantly be traveling. So Narad Muni was cursed by Daksha Prajapati to do so. Therefore, Narad Muni has no ashram. Yes, he doesn't know where he'll stay tonight, where he'll be in the morning, where he will eat, where he will sleep. Completely dependent on the Lord. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada's life. He was also a traveling preacher. When he was going to America, he didn't know where he'll stay. He had only 40 rupees, which in those times were $8. $8, that's all. He didn't know where to go, how to stay, but he was completely dependent on the Lord. Every time his disciples used to write, "We have opened a center here, you please come," he used to say, "Okay." Therefore, in all the letters of Srila Prabhupada, you'll see he'll be announcing that I'm in this place right now. After 1 week, I'll be going to this place. But after 1 week, where he'll go, no mention, because he also doesn't know. So this is one of the similarities in the life of Narad Muni and Srila Prabhupada. Both are traveling preachers. Next similarity. They like to hear. Both Narad Muni and Srila Prabhupada were very fond of Shravanam. They used to sit and hear. I explained the second life of Narad Muni according to our remembered history of Vedas, where he became the son of a maid servant, and he was hearing for 4 months constantly from the Bhakti Vedantas, the sages. And they also took note that this young boy, 5 years old, likes to hear. It is mentioned in the Bhagavatam, Narad Muni only says, I could hear them describe the attractive activities of Lord Krishna, and thus listening attentively and continuously, my taste for hearing about Krishna increased at every step. Srimad Bhagavatam 1:5-27. Narad Muni is telling that I used to hear. The same thing happened with Srila Prabhupada also. Once Srila Prabhupada was on a parikrama, I think it was if I'm not wrong, it was the Vraj Mandal parikrama organized by his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Announcement was made that there is a very beautiful temple, very ancient temple of Lord Vishnu nearby. Devotees have two options. Either they can sit and hear the class of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, or else they can go and take darshan. It is said that 90% of the people got up to take darshan and went away. But Srila Prabhupada thought, our Prabhupada, he thought that what's the point of doing some eye exercise? The dham can be seen only by the ears. I repeat, the dham or the spiritual world can be seen through ears. Only when you hear from Guru, the dham will reveal itself to you. You will be able to see the dham. That's why I always say, never go to holy places alone. Otherwise, you will see, oh, this building is nice, this color is nice, this monkey is not nice, this pig is very dirty, the gutter is dirty, this wine shop is there, this pakoda shop is there, behind the temple, dharmshala is there, this hotel is good. All this you will see and come. But what you saw in the dham, nothing. However, when you go with devotees, they will explain you. They will open your spiritual eyes and you will be able to see the dham from the spiritual vision of the Guru and the devotees. They will reveal the spiritual aspect of the dham to you, without which the dham is not a dham, it's just an ordinary place. Some people think Vrindavan is in Uttar Pradesh. They're all idiots who thinks like this. Because Vrindavan is not in this material world. It's a part of the spiritual. Anybody who thinks Vrindavan is in Uttar Pradesh is an idiot. That means he is thinking that the dham is a part of the material world. But that's not the case. So therefore we should go in association of devotees. They will, Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guru. I was born in the deepest and darkest ignorance, and my ignorance and my ignorant eyes were opened by the light of knowledge by my spiritual master. I offer my respectful obeisances to my spiritual master. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada thought, what I will go and see this dham? I should sit and hear from my Guru. So therefore, when he approached his Guru for initiation, his Guru told the following: yes, I have seen. He likes to hear. I have marked him. I will accept him as a disciple. So Guru appreciating the capacity in a disciple to sit and hear. Just like Narad Muni was sitting and hearing from the sages for 4 months, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also noticed that Srila Prabhupada also likes to sit and hear. And because, once Srila Prabhupada was asked that, Srila Prabhupada, how you have become such a nice speaker of Krishna Katha? Srila Prabhupada said, I have become a nice speaker because I heard nicely from my Guru. And he has always given credit for his Katha or his classes. Srila Prabhupada calls his Katha as class. He has always given the credit of his classes to his spiritual master. He says that because I have simply repeated without adding mirch masala, I have simply repeated whatever I heard from my Guru. Therefore, I have got success in spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. Once one person came and challenged Prabhupada that whatever you have written in your Bhagavad Gita as it is simply repetition of what the previous acharyas have said. In all your purports, you say Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur said this, Baldev Vidyabhushan says this, Krishna says this, Arjuna says this, and you are quoting various other literatures, various other Vedic. Where is your contribution? Where is your original thing which you have written? Srila Prabhupada smiled and said, this is my greatest contribution, that I did not write even one line on my own. I just told what the previous acharyas have told. That is my greatest contribution because in Kali Yuga, everybody likes to tell what they think. I have simply repeated like a parrot what the previous acharyas have told. That is my greatest contribution. I have just managed to keep the message of Bhagavad Gita as it is. That is my greatest contribution. So this is the second similarity between Srila Prabhupada and Narada Muni. Both of them like to hear. Do you think these qualities we can also practice? Can we also lay a lot of importance and stress on hearing from Srila Prabhupada, hearing from the Bhagavad Gita, hearing from Lord Krishna? Is it very difficult to do? Huh? Even if I am in a cow's body, can I hear properly? Yeah, hearing is, nobody takes any money from you. And if we tell you to speak, speaking is a problem. You start coughing. Your voice becomes weak. You feel tired. But do you feel tired after hearing? I don't think so. At least I don't feel tired. Unless and until you've not had a good sleep, you'll not feel tired. So hearing is very important. It's the easiest way to progress in bhakti. It's the easiest way to progress in bhakti. Just sit and hear. Do you think all of you can become traveling preachers? No need to travel all over the universe and outside the universe, but at least can you travel to your neighbor's house and preach? At least can you travel to your office and preach? So all of us can become traveling preachers. Travel. In Bangalore, traveling means 5 kilometers. Okay, travel for 5 kilometers. Narada Muni is traveling in 5 universes. We'll travel for 5. Narada Muni will appreciate that my 5 universe and your 5 kilometers in Marathali is the same. Narada Muni will appreciate, Baba. You tell Narada Muni one day, I'm traveling daily 5 kilometers in Whitefield. He'll be like, so therefore you will get the same credit as Narada Muni if you travel and preach. Traveling preaching means don't hear, don't read and sit in your house. Whenever you hear something, share it with 2 people. That is our traveling and preaching. Whatever you read, share it with 2 people. That is our traveling and preaching. Is that very difficult to do? Can you call one person and say, hey, I read a very nice thing in Bhagavad Gita, I want to share with you. Can you message someone, hey, I read this point, I've been meditating on it since morning, wanted to share with you. It's very difficult. Even if you don't find someone, catch your spouse and tell. You'll become more humble. That probably I have to read more nicely, because your spouse will tell, hey, what is there in it? Sometimes some devotees who are coming regularly to our classes, but their spouses are not coming. So we do some Swad Utsav or some propaganda. We say that cook one item and bring. So sometimes the spouse also comes. And the first comment after the class is, "Kya hai? Sab to jante hain. I know everything. What is new in this? I know everything. So that's what happens when you tell your spouse or your family members, they'll say, I know everything. So you become more humble. That's good for your spiritual life. So traveling preachers, he likes to hear. The third similarity between Srila Prabhupada and Sri Narada Muni is book distribution. How many of you have read the first canto of Bhagavatam? Have you seen the role of Narada Muni in it? Is there a chapter called the Narada Instructs Vyasadeva, chapter 5, first canto, where Vyasadeva is sitting a little bit sad in life, depressed in life, don't know what to do. He has written the Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, Mahabharata, but he is still not satisfied. He's thinking, what mistake I have made, what is pending to do, why I am not satisfied. I followed everything perfectly. I am the incarnation of God. God incarnation only not satisfied means. Vyasadeva is a Shakti-avesh incarnation. Just like Narad Muni is preaching potency of Krishna, Vyasadeva is literary potency of Krishna. He has been empowered by Krishna to write. So at that time Narad Muni comes. And Narad Muni is the spiritual master of Vedas. And Narad Muni, what he comes and tells Vedas? That you have done a great job by writing the Vedic literature, but my dear Vyasadeva, all you have done is you have encouraged people on the path of sense gratification. Anyways, they wanted to do Indriya Tripti, sense gratification, eating nicely, sleeping nicely, mating nicely, defending nicely. But now you wrote the Vedic literature and gave them bona fide legal ways to do it. You have helped them to further forget the main goal of life. Although you did a great job by compiling the Vedic literature. You did a great job by compiling the Vedanta Sutras, Upanishads, Puranas, Mahabharata. People who are not qualified to read the Vedas, who are very low class, degraded, they can read Mahabharata. Done a great job. But you know why you are still dissatisfied? Because you have not exclusively glorified Krishna and you have not exclusively glorified bhakti, devotional service, which is the essence of everything. Therefore, my order to you is to again rewrite the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam he had written earlier, but he said you re-edit it and focus now major not on Karma Kand, Jnana Kand, Upasana Kand or anything else or Karma Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, Jnana Yoga. No. Just focus on Bhakti and rewrite this Srimad Bhagavatam. So present Srimad Bhagavatam is second edition. Narad Muni told, actually he scolded Vyasadeva. And after getting scolding from Narad Muni, Vyasadeva rewrote the Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is what Bhagavatam which we read today. Imagine if Srimad Bhagavatam wouldn't have been in our lives, how we would have come to know of Krishna and other incarnations of Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam, Purana Amalam, Premo, Pumartho, Mahan. It is the topmost Vedic literature, the most condensed form of Krishna consciousness. Had Narad Muni not pushed Vyasadeva to write this, we wouldn't have been having this scripture. So therefore, even in the case of Srila Prabhupada, it is not just a coincidence that the first book which he wanted to translate and broadcast all over the world was Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is the greatness of Vyasadeva, Narad Muni, who pushed Vyasadeva to write Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is the credit of Srila Prabhupada who translated this most confidential knowledge from Sanskrit to English and broadcast it on a mass scale all over the world. So by Narad Muni's mercy, Bhagavatam came to the human society, and by Prabhupada's mercy, Bhagavatam was broadcast in English and all other languages all over the world. Do you see this similarity? Is this a similarity? So whatever book distribution is happening, it is because of Narad Muni and Srila Prabhupada. One more similarity in the same book distribution aspect. In Padma Purana, Narad Muni is speaking to Bhakti Devi. who is sitting with the dead body of her two sons, Jnana and Vairagya. Narada Muni is speaking to Bhakti Devi and he's saying, "Oh beautiful faced one, there is no other age like Kali Yuga, because you will be established in every house, in the heart of every person. As when a lion roars, wolves flee in fear, merely by the sound of Srimad Bhagavatam, all the vicious qualities of Kali Yuga will be destroyed." Narada Muni then tells Bhakti Devi, "Hear my vow. If I do not preach your message and subdue all other religions and make devotional festivals of Lord Hari predominant all over the world, then I shall not be considered as a servant of Lord Krishna." So this is what Srila Prabhupada also did. You see, he started this Rath Yatra festivals all over the world. He made Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Sudarshan Chakra worship prominent all over the world. Three things Srila Prabhupada did. He encouraged massive Harinam Sankirtan. He encouraged massive book distribution. And he encouraged massive prasadam distribution. These three vows Narada Muni only took in the past, when he's talking to Bhakti Devi or when he's talking to the four Kumaras. In fact, in the Padma Purana, Bhakti Devi is also telling, "Idam sthanam parityajya videsham gamyate maya." Idam sthanam parityajya. Matlab, I will give up this holy land of Vrindavan or the Indian subcontinent. Videsham gamyate maya. I will go to foreign lands. So Narada Muni told, "Yes, I will make arrangement for that." So Srila Prabhupada, what he did, he transported the Vedic culture or the culture of Vrindavan, Mayapur, Jagannath Puri, and holy places of India. He took this devotional culture, from the Indian subcontinent and transplanted it as a seed in various parts of the world. And now wherever you go in the world, you always hear people chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So someone may argue, many people have done this, in the past. They have transplanted some aspect of Indian culture. But you see, there have been many people who have done this, but as soon as such people die, their culture or their movement also dies. I don't want to take names, but you can understand on your own. Why? Because they did not have any literature. They started a personality cult. Their whole cult or movement was based on the personality. So as and when the personality disappears, the cult also disappears, or the movement also disappears. But Srila Prabhupada didn't do that. He based his entire movement on books, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's why Srila Prabhupada said that I want every respectable gentleman to have a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita in their house. This is Srila Prabhupada's contribution. And that is why even after so many years of disappearance, after so many years of physical disappearance of Srila Prabhupada, still we see that ISKCON as an organization is not just sustaining itself, is not struggling, but it is booming, expanding, further spreading. This is unheard in the history. You can check the records of any other organization who, after passing away of the central personality, continues to flourish. Someone may say McDonald's is still flourishing, KFC is still flourishing. You wait for 50 years and see. There is no organization which continued to flourish beyond 100 years. Srila Prabhupada said that my books will become the law books of the society. You know what is a law book? Law means law. The society functions according to it, the constitution. My books will become the law books for the next 10,000 years. So that means for the next 10,000 years, the books of Srila Prabhupada will exist. These books will be distributed. These books will guide the human society. And as long as the books are there, ISKCON is there. I will not say the reverse. As long as ISKCON is there, books is there. No. As long as Srila Prabhupada's books are there, definitely ISKCON will be there. So I can predict, sitting on Vyasasana, that ISKCON is going to continue for 10,000 years. Have you heard of any organization which continues for 10,000 years? Not possible. So therefore, how did these books come in the first place? By the mercy of Narada Muni. And how these books got expanded? By the mercy of Prabhupada. So both of them were very fond of book distribution. Fourth similarity. What were the first three similarities? Number one, traveling preachers. Number two, both of them like to hear. Third, both of them like to disseminate the Vedic literature, spread the Vedic literature. That's the essence. In the present day world, it is being done in the form of book distribution. Earlier, it was being done in the form of discussions. Both of them like to disseminate the Vedic literature or do book distribution. Fourth, spreaders of the holy name. What does Narada Muni do all the time? That is, the movies show like that. Narada Muni chants all the names of Krishna, not just Narayan, Narayan. How many of you have met Narada Muni? How could you say for sure that he's chanting all the time Narayan, Narayan only? Movies are showing like that, so he's chanting. But actually, you know the veena which Narada Muni plays, who gave to Narada Muni? Lord Krishna has given the veena. And he keeps playing the veena and he keeps chanting. When he's in front of Lord Ram, he chants Lord Ram's name. When he's in front of Narayan, he chants Narayan's name. When he's in front of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, he chants Krishna's name. Because he knows all the names are the same. So Narada Muni is always chanting the holy names of the Lord, playing his divine veena. And that is what Srila Prabhupada also did. Srila Prabhupada traveled to New York, London, Russia, Africa, South America. And the places where he was not able to go, he sent his disciples. And what was his prime instruction? Go and make people chant the holy name. So Narada Muni is, whether it is Satyuga, Treta, Dwapar, in Kali Yuga, nobody sees Narada Muni. In whichever age Narada Muni comes, the primary thing which he has been seen doing is chanting. Although in different ages, different yuga dharmas are there. Kritya dhyayato vishnum tretayam yajito makhaihi. Dwapare paricharyayam kalau tadhari kirtana. In Satyuga, people prefer to do meditation. But in Satyuga also, Narada Muni is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In Dwapar, in Treta Yuga, the people prefer to do yajnas. But in that yuga also, Narada Muni is chanting. That means chanting is very powerful in all the ages. Otherwise, Narada Muni would have also started doing some tapasya. But it is seen that people are doing tapasya. Narada Muni goes there and says, Hare Krishna. Have you seen in the movies? Yes. Is there any mention anywhere that Narada Muni has stopped chanting the holy names of the Lord and started doing some yajna or tapasya, or he has started doing some deity worship, temple construction? No. He is fixed up. Because the essence of all devotional services is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. 8 limbs of bhakti, and Narada Muni is very fixed upon one limb, that is Kirtanam and Shravanam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Narada Muni likes very much. So chanting is powerful in all the ages. However, there is option to do other things in other ages. In Satyuga, you can chant also and do tapasya also. But in Kali Yuga, there is no option only chanting. Harer Nam eva kevalam, kalau nastyeva gatir anyatha. There is no other way, other than chanting the holy name of Hari, other than chanting the holy name of Hari in Kali Yuga. The same thing Srila Prabhupada has done. He just requests people to chant Hare Krishna, nothing else. At one point of time, there was great rebellion. That we will not chant Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada went to the extent of saying, okay, if you don't want to chant Hare Krishna, don't chant. You say you are not a Hindu, you think if Krishna is a Hindu name or a Hindu god and you don't want to chant. First of all, God is God, he cannot be Hindu or Muslim. But if you really think like that, then I will suggest you go and you open your own religious scripture, find some name of God, if there is a name of God, and you chant that name. Don't chant Hare Krishna. Chant some other name of God, but you chant the holy name of the Lord. Because in Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is to chant the holy name of the Lord. You think Hare Krishna is some nonsense? Okay, find some other name of God if there is in your scripture and chant that. So this was his record. He was so liberal. All he was stressing upon is just chant the holy names of the Lord. And therefore he stressed that because chanting the holy name is the Yuga Dharma and because Hare Krishna is propagated himself by Lord Chaitanya and this mantra has been chanted by the previous acharyas, therefore he instructed everybody to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. How many similarities we learnt between Narada Muni and Srila Prabhupada? Number one, traveling preachers. Both of them like to hear. Dissemination of Vedic culture, Vedic literature, book distribution. Fourth is spreaders of the holy name. Fifth similarity between Srila Prabhupada and Narada Muni is deity worship. Both Narada Muni and Srila Prabhupada have been expanding and propagating Arch Vigraha Upasana, worshipping the deities. So there is a book called as Narada Pancharatra. It's a very detailed book in which it has been given full description in the age of Kali Yuga how to worship the deities. Deities means Vigraha. And Srila Prabhupada has taken inspiration from that Narada Pancharatra, quoted Narada Pancharatra in the various purports, quoted Narada Pancharatra in various lectures, followed the Narada Pancharatra and taught his disciples deity worship, and then has established deities in temples all over the world. Not only that, whenever a deity comes, festivals along with the deities also come. Deities means festival. Any temple which has Vigraha should do festival. Any house which has Vigraha should do festivals. So therefore, Narad Muni, I was quoting it earlier, I'll again quote it. In the Padma Puran, Narad Muni is promising Bhakti Devi, hear my vow, if I do not preach your message and subdue all other religions and make devotional festivals of Lord Hari famous all over the world, then I shall not be considered the servant of Lord Krishna. Srila Prabhupada did this work of Narad Muni. Narad Muni took the vow that I will spread the festival of Sri Hari, the devotional festivals all over the world. And Narad Muni took this vow, and then later on Narad Muni has inspired Srila Prabhupada to do it. And Srila Prabhupada hosted Rath Yatras all over the world, in various parts of the world. And it used to be a major festival in ISKCON. Today, in India, the dates of celebrating the Rath Yatra is constant. The day from the day of Pahandi till the day of Ulta Rath. Only for these 10 days you can do Rath Yatra in India, because that is the culture, that is the tradition. But outside India, there is no fixed date of Rath Yatra. Different temples also all over the world, they decide a particular date to do Rath Yatra. And all the nearby temples, suppose a temple in a particular city is doing it. So all the other temples of that state or even of that country, they come and participate. And they fix their calendar that your Rath Yatra is happening at that time, I'll come. So you have to come for my Rath Yatra and all that. So Rath Yatra is a major festival. Thousands and thousands of people singing and dancing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, everybody taking darshan of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Sudarshan, everybody taking darshan of Gaur Nitai. And even more important than that, great devotees, pure devotees of the Lord coming and giving their association to everybody around. That is Rath Yatra. That is Rath Yatra. Rath Yatra is the Kumbh Mela of ISKCON actually. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada assisted Narada Muni to fulfill his vow that he will make devotional festivals famous all over the world. How many of you know the pastime how Jagannath worship started in ISKCON? Anybody knows that pastime? Prabhupada Lilamrita it is mentioned. It's a very strange way how it started. So one day, one of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, she went to a gift shop to purchase some antique. So she found a doll with big eyes, no nose, and short hands, no legs. She found it little antique. She thought that this is some antique gift, something very rare. I don't know what it is, but let me take it to Prabhupada. So she purchased it and she brought. And she came and kept it on the table of Prabhupada. As soon as Prabhupada saw it, he immediately got up. Lilamrit describes as soon as he saw, he looked up, his eyes became big, his eyebrows went up, and then his hands started trembling. Immediately he got up and he offered his obeisances, and then he asked, "Where you found this?" Then the disciples, they asked, "What is it?" He said that this is Jagannath, the Lord of the whole universe. This is Krishna. Where you found this? Prabhupada, we found it in a shop. So he said, okay, there must be two more like this. Go and get it. So she went and brought two more. And that's how, and then Srila Prabhupada installed Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. He instructed one of his disciples to make big size deities of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. Shyam Sundar Prabhu was doing this construction. One day, he was having a cigarette in one of his hands, and he had a hammer and a chisel, and he was cutting, and the remaining packet of cigarette was on the top, on the head of Jagannath he had kept. So Srila Prabhupada, when he saw this, he could have scolded him, he could have chastised him. He said, "Oh, you are multitasking. You are making DT also and smoking also." You know what? Sincere devotees, they don't let anything come in between Krishna and them. Don't let this cigarette come between you and Krishna. So nicely, you see. So much tolerance. Imagine a sannyasi who has spent all his life in a cultured India. In a cultured India, he has spent all his life, and then he has gone to a place where there is no culture, and he's training people with so much patience. And Shyam Sundar Prabhu says that that was the last time I smoked. After that, I threw it out. And then Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra deities were made. Installation was done. Installation ceremony was also very strange. Because at that time, the disciples were very young, very untrained. So slowly, Srila Prabhupada raised the deity standards. The installation of Jagannath was pretty simple. They made just some bhoga. And at that time, there was no arati paraphernalia also. So they took a candle and they started rotating the candle in front of Jagannath. And then Srila Prabhupada did it for some time, and then he called the next person. He said, "Now you do." So how long I have to do? As long as you can do, you do. So the other disciple did it for 10, 15 minutes. Then he called someone else. And that's how Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra installation happened. Then one day, Srila Prabhupada came for darshan, and he saw the deities are not there. So Srila Prabhupada asked, "Where did the deities go?" So the disciples said that, "Srila Prabhupada, you said these deities are non-different from God. So we thought that, just like we get bored inside the temple, sometimes we go for a walk. So we have taken the deities for a walk." "So how you have taken them?" "So we bought some cradles and we have took them to the sea beach." So Srila Prabhupada says, "Yes, it is right. Your emotion, your sentiment is correct. Deities or God also likes to go for a walk, but not in this way. I will teach you how. And that's how Rath Yatra started. Rath Yatra, and then after that, rest is history. And then he started deity worship, training, and then, you know, the whole world follows ISKCON now. It's a fact that every major religious organization likes to see the deity worship which ISKCON does. So both Narad Muni took this vow that I will make these festivals of Hari famous all over the world. Narad Muni wrote the Narad Pancharatra. Srila Prabhupada effectively broadcast the Narad Pancharatra and broadcast the Rath Yatra festivals all over the world. So this is another similarity between Narad Muni and Srila Prabhupada. They involved the agents and the people of Kali Yuga in deity worship. This was number 6. Number 6 or 5? Difference of opinion. Okay, next similarity. Both of them are renunciants. Both Narad Muni and Srila Prabhupada are renunciants. Narad Muni is a very famous renunciant who is very famous or well known for encouraging renunciation in others. You take out the entire Srimad Bhagavatam and you see Narad Muni is meeting with anybody. It could be a hunter like Mrigari. It could be a king like Puranjan. It could be a saint like Dvaipayan Vyas. Or anybody whom Narad Muni meets, immediately we should understand that a great bomb is going to blast in his life. That is the power of saintly association. Whenever you come in touch with a saintly person, you should understand that some great change is going to come in my life. Some great weakness of heart which I had earlier is going to go away. Some great hindrance, despite all my sincerity and seriousness which was there in my practice of bhakti, is going to go away. What is the meaning of Vairagya? Vairagya means Anurag to Krishna is Vairagya to the material world. The more you get attached to Krishna, the more you get detached from the material world. So Narad Muni is not essentially a Vairagi. He is an Anuragi. He is someone who is deeply attached to Krishna. And he likes to do whatever Krishna wants him to do. Anything. Whatever Krishna wants him to do, he'll do. Sometimes, I get thrilled by seeing what all Narad Muni is doing. Not only is he involved in the writing of Srimad Bhagavatam, but he is involved in killing of children also. The 6 children of Devaki. Why? Because Krishna wants it. Which other renunciant will be involved in doing all these things? So Narad Muni is not a traditional Vairagi or a renunciant or a sannyasi who follows some rules and regulations. Generally, sannyasis, they do not associate with women. But when Kayadhu, the mother of Prahlad Maharaj, was about to be killed by the demigods, she was not about to be killed, her son was about to be killed after taking birth. Narad Muni saved Kayadhu and took her in his custody. We never hear of any sannyasi taking a woman in his custody. But because Krishna wants, so he will do. And because he is not attached to anything else except Krishna, therefore he is the greatest renunciant. He is the Vairagya Shiromani. He is the crest jewel of all renunciants. He is the real renunciant, the original true renunciant. And whomever he meets, he encourages them to give up their material attachments and get attached to Krishna. Same qualification, same character we see in Srila Prabhupada. His life is a good description of Yukta Vairagya. There are some, even in the present day society, there are some so-called renunciants who don't like to touch money. They think money is Maya. But Srila Prabhupada says, why? Money is not Maya. If I want to utilize money or Lakshmi in Krishna's service, then it is not Maya. But if I want to utilize something in my own service for my own sense gratification, even if it is my kamandal, which holds nothing else except water, it is Maya. This is the definition of Yukta Vairagya. Srila Prabhupada gives a very nice definition of Yukta Vairagya. Let me pull it out. It's amazing. I should have pulled it out earlier. Basically, he quotes Rupa Goswami. अनासक्तस्य विषयान् यथार्हम् उपयुञ्जतः निर्बन्ध कृष्ण संबंधे युक्तम वैराग्यम उच्यते. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, first part, second chapter, shloka 255. When one is not attached to anything, but at the same time accepts everything in relation to Krishna. Please listen. When one is not attached to anything, but at the same time accepts everything in relation to Krishna, one is rightly situated above possessiveness. This is called Rukyukta Vairagya. Sometimes people say, I don't want to touch money. And they hate money. That is also one kind of attachment. Especially the false renunciants, the Falgu Vairagya. Everything belongs to Krishna and everything should be used in Krishna's service. This consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. If you love something, you're attached. If you hate something, you're attached. But if you see everything as Krishna's property and try to effectively utilize it in Krishna's property, that is Yukta Vairagya, that is Vairagya, that is renunciation. And that is what Srila Prabhupada always did. Srila Prabhupada said, Krishna tested me 2 times. Once in wealth and once in poverty. Before coming to the West, he was in abject poverty-stricken conditions. So much so that in order to print the first canto of Bhagavatam, in order to go to Chipiwada Lane from Vrindavan, he used to skip his breakfast and save that money to sit in a train and go to Vrindavan, go to Chipiwada, Delhi. Abject poverty. People used to take Back to Godhead magazines from him and not pay money. And he used to go to their house and wait and stand for hours to receive money. Krishna tested him. And later on, when he became the founder Acharya of International Society of Krishna Consciousness, Krishna again tested him by giving him unimaginable wealth. He had many palaces as his temple. And wherever he went, devotees were surrendering their life and soul to him. Money was coming in, books were coming in, resources were coming in. People used to bring everybody to meet him also. One disciple bought some local beauty contestant winner also to meet Prabhupada. So Krishna tested him. Once he tested him in poverty, once he tested him in wealth. But in both circumstances, when he was poor and when he was rich, he used to always think that everything belongs to Krishna and everything has to be used in Krishna's service. Therefore, he also established himself as a perfect follower of Narada Muni, perfect Vairagi. 6th similarity, both Narada Muni and Srila Prabhupada were renunciants of the material world. 7th similarity, both Srila Prabhupada and Narada Muni were humble servants. Narada Muni it is seen in all his conversations that whatever he does, he takes no credit. In fact, in Srimad Bhagavatam, he is saying he has credited all his advancement to the faithful service to the devotees. Especially when he is talking to Vyasadeva, telling his previous lifetime, he says that whatever progress in Krishna consciousness I made, it is the mercy of the sages whom my mother and myself served in the 4 months of Chaturmasya. It is by their mercy, it is by their dealings, it is by their teachings that I have become the son of Lord Brahma today. He gives full credit to them. That is his humility. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada also always felt, not just for the matter of speaking, but from the core of his heart, that whatever success he has achieved, it is simply the mercy of his spiritual master. All I have done, in fact, we have a very famous lecture of book distribution, Srila Prabhupada says that I have no special qualification. All I have done is just that I have tried to please my Guru. And then he goes on to tell his story that how on the banks of Radha Kund, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada told that since we have this Bagh Bazar temple, there has been dissension. And every disciple is thinking, I'll take this room, that room, this room, that room. I wish therefore to sell the marble in this temple and print some book. So Srila Prabhupada says, I took it from his mouth that my Guru Maharaj likes to distribute books. Therefore, I keep insisting, where is book, where is book, where is book? So again, Srila Prabhupada says, all I've done is try to please my spiritual masters. And one more thing which Srila Prabhupada has done, he has been very hungry in understanding the desires of the previous acharyas also. He understood the desires of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted a temple to come in Mayapur, so he did that. He understood the desires of Narottam Das Thakur, he did that. He understood the desires of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the 6 Goswamis. So we just have to try to please the present acharya and the previous acharyas. That is the secret to success of advancement in Krishna consciousness. And for that, the mood of humble servant is very, very important. So Narad Muni always tries to please the devotees around him, ultimately to please Lord Krishna. The same quality and character and caliber we see in Srila Prabhupada. He tries to please his spiritual master, the previous acharyas, ultimately to please Krishna. In one lecture, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that the only question which I asked my Guru Maharaj is, how shall I serve you? That's all. No other question. He had no other interaction much, and he asked no other question also. So similarly, we should also have this question only. Sometimes we take our spiritual masters for granted. We ask some nonsense questions. This dhoti I had given you, is it okay? So is it proper? Or should I bring a different material? How are you feeling today? Is the Bangalore climate good now compared to the climate of that place? All these nonsense. What is the point of having such discussions? How can I serve you? This should be the only question. And this is the mood of a servant. Whatever dissensions, disagreements, and problems happen in the association of devotees is because people forget this question and they start asking other questions. One devotee should ask another devotee, how can I serve you? But when this question takes background and other questions like, why didn't you come to my house? Or why didn't you invite me? Or why did not you appreciate me for the services which I did? Why you have been ignoring me? Why you have been doing this? Why? Then it becomes a problem. Then aparad happens. Vaishnava aparad, Nam aparad, Seva aparad. And because mind, there is so much space in the mind which is occupied by all this nonsense. So therefore we forget to chant our rounds and we forget to follow the 4 grid principles. And then we start seeing faults in others. And then we just start committing offenses one after another. And once the cycle of offenses start, we get involved in it helplessly. We can't help ourselves. Just like in front of a chronic drunkard, if you put a bottle of liquor, he's helpless. He'll just open and drink it. He has no option. Similarly, when we forget this question, how can I serve you? And when we make other questions as the goal of our life, and then we get helplessly involved in committing Nam Aparad, Seva Aparad, Vaishnava Aparad, Sadhu Ninda, etc. So if we want to become a humble servant, first of all, we should give up the desire of becoming a great devotee. The only desire we should have is that we should become servants of great devotee and ask them this question, how can I serve you? And this quality is seen in Narad Muni. That is why he is Narad Muni. And this quality is seen in the greatest preacher of Krishna consciousness in the modern times, that is Srila Prabhupada. And that is why Srila Prabhupada is Srila Prabhupada, because he is a humble servant. Seventh similarity, the timing of Narad Muni and Srila Prabhupada was always perfect. You take out the entire Vedic literature, you will always find that Narad Muni seems to arrive at the perfect moment. Not one moment before, not one moment later. He arrives at the perfect moment and delivers the perfect message and helps many, many great souls to overcome the doubts and the difficulties, the distresses which they are having in their journey. A same or the similar quality was seen in Srila Prabhupada also. It is written, I am quoting from Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. Satswarup, His Holiness Satswarup Maharaj writes, it was not the advent of the jet plane, nor was it happenstance, nor luck, nor even a social historical phenomenon that enabled Srila Prabhupada to spread the Vedic culture from east to west and back again. No, it was the will of Krishna and the perfect timing and the sincerity of his servant. Will of Krishna, sincerity of Srila Prabhupada, and perfect timing. I was hearing Shyam Sundar Prabhu telling once that time of counterculture, that 1967, 1966 time, it was the perfect time. The youth was frustrated. The materialistic money-making culture of America was not giving happiness to anybody. They had started this hippie culture, the counterculture. Sons of millionaires, billionaires, daughters of millionaires and billionaires, they were rebelling against this culture of upper middle class or upper class mentality. The aim of life is to earn money and do nice sense gratification. They wanted more. They wanted to know the truth. They were giving up their universities, they were giving up their jobs. Nice people, after completing their degrees, were becoming car drivers. They were not wanting to take up that kind of life. They were saying, do not trust anybody who is above the age 35. It was not just a coincidence that Srila Prabhupada walked right into the middle of all this. He just walked into it. As soon as he went there, everybody was looking for some solution. If Srila Prabhupada wouldn't have gone there, some major thing would have happened. We don't know what would have happened, but something major would have happened, which would have changed the course of the history of the world. But Srila Prabhupada was brought by Krishna at that time, at the right place, at the right moment. And Srila Prabhupada just walked into the middle of it. And then when they were saying, don't listen to a person above 35, they all surrendered their life to a person 70 years old. And then the whole world changed. So, Srila Prabhupada's timing was always perfect. It is not just the time when he arrived in America, but even during the conversations, even during the discussions, his timings were perfect. At the right time, the right motivations used to come from him in letters to the disciples. At the right time, the right points, the right words would come out from his lecture. I do not remember the whole detail, but I remember His Grace Jananivas Prabhu telling in a lecture that he needs to see some proof. He wanted some proof that God exists and messengers of God exist. So he was sitting. He had walked into a room where Srila Prabhupada was giving lecture. And he was thinking that how will I get a proof that Srila Prabhupada is a messenger of God. And as he was thinking like this, I don't know what happened, but he says, by the way, Pankajangri, Jananivas Prabhu is the head priest of ISKCON. He's not an ordinary person. Whenever I meet him, I offer my sashtang full dandavats to him. He's not only me, I think everybody in this room will do that. He's a great personality. So he was saying that he started seeing some. At that time, Jananivas Prabhu would said that I was very much attached to impersonalism and the impersonal effulgence of the Lord. So at that time, he saw great effulgence coming out of the body of Srila Prabhupada. So he started thinking, probably Srila Prabhupada is God. He is God. And you see the effulgence is coming out. Here is the proof that God exists. And immediately he was thinking like this in his mind, and at that moment only Srila Prabhupada looked at him and said, Guru is the most confidential servant of God, but Guru is not God. Many disciples have told like this that Srila Prabhupada had that soul scanning or mind scanning ability. He could look at you and tell you what you want to hear. And the timing used to be sublime and perfect. Not one moment later, not one moment before. Everything which, the moment he introduced Chaitanya Charitamrita, the moment he introduced Samsar Dava, the moment he introduced Rath Yatra, everything was picture perfect, the timing. In fact, his own personal daily schedule was such that people used to time their watch. If they used to see Prabhupada is going for a walk, oh, let me fix my watch, it is 6 a.m. If they used to see Prabhupada has come down to give class, let me fix my time. That was the timing which Prabhupada had in his life. And same quality we see in Narada Muni. He is absolutely perfect in timing. In fact, it is more than timing. So this one great quality we see in both Narada Muni and Srila Prabhupada. And therefore, the last and the concluding aspect of this discussion is both Narada Muni and Srila Prabhupada are intimate servants of Krishna. In fact, the fact that Srila Prabhupada is an intimate servant of God can be very nicely established when I prove that Srila Prabhupada is an intimate servant of Narada Muni, because that is the culture of Krishna consciousness. So, I will tell you one incident. I'm reading it from Prabhupada Memories as I speak to you. This happened in 1966 in New York, where devotees rented a very, very expensive auditorium near the Carnegie Hall with hopes of attracting a lot of press, a lot of influential people, the local big people, and the politicians, and many other people. It was a very, very expensive hall. They did massive publicity, and they invited many, many people. They really planned it well. And the seating capacity was, I don't know, could be definitely 1,000 or something. Only 7 people came. How many? 7. So everybody was disappointed, obviously. And those 7 could have been, I don't know who. Maybe they were just walking by and they saw, okay, something's there, let me just go and check out. So sometimes, we have our plans and Krishna has his plans. Krishna consciousness means to surrender to Krishna's plan and be happy about it. Don't crib about it. So one of the disciples, but Srila Prabhupada, his enthusiasm did change. That what is this, only 7 people? I'm the world Acharya, I'll speak to only 7 people now. Get lost. Sometimes we hear some great musicians, singers, pop stars, rock stars, the show gets cancelled. We have heard, right? Somebody coming to Bangalore and the show got cancelled because less tickets were sold, or because of traffic or some reason, whatever. Srila Prabhupada never cancelled any program. Never. Because his lectures or classes were meant for glorification of Krishna and not meant for getting the happiness of being appreciated by others. Every opportunity was a selfless act of glorifying Nam, Roop, Guna, and Leela of Krishna. Whether 1,000 or whether 10, didn't matter. So in that also circumstances also he continued and he did very nice kirtan. He did very nice katha. He after that interacted and prasadam distribution was done very nicely. So one of the disciples apologized in the end, mentioning that almost no one had come. At that time, on record, I'm reading, it is mentioned that Prabhupada raised his eyebrows and he said, "Why are you saying nobody came and the program was a failure? Did you not see Narad Muni? He had come." Like that question mark. And just like, you people are thinking, the disciples also start thinking, "Oh, Narad Muni came, we didn't know." So then they asked that, okay, Narad Muni had come, so what he was doing, what did he say, any feedback he gave? So Srila Prabhupada said Narad Muni was very happy. They again asked, why was Narad Muni happy? Because when he saw all of you singing and dancing to the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he was feeling very happy. He also danced and went away. Actually, Srila Prabhupada added something. Narad Muni was laughing to see the Mlechas and the Yavanas dancing and singing to the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then he laughed, and all the disciples also laughed. And this is the interaction with Narad Muni on various occasions. So once in a lecture also I've heard, in that lecture, he's telling, now here is Narad Muni. I don't know why he mentioned in the lecture. It's mentioned in the time, here is Narad Muni, and then here is our such and such disciple. He continues the lecture. In one of the kirtans, he is singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and all of a sudden in between, so all the devotees feel some great inspiration. They start singing and dancing. One of the disciples starts jumping, others are throwing him up. He's so much in ecstasy that he's going and hitting the ceiling and coming down. Everybody is, it looked as if the doors of Vaikuntha have opened, and Srila Prabhupada is also fully in ecstasy, chanting Hare Krishna. And then all of a sudden in the middle, he starts singing Narad Muni Bhajamyaham. People don't understand, this is not Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Why is he singing such? So the people who are playing the mridanga, they are looking back and at Prabhupada, and Prabhupada is telling, continue, continue. And then he says, Narad Muni Bhajamyaham, and then again comes back to Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then after the kirtan, they asked Prabhupada that what happened in the middle? It seemed the doors of Vaikuntha had opened and we were not understanding who we are and who we were all crying, singing and dancing. Why you started singing like that? So again, Prabhupada, did you not see Narad Muni had come? So on many occasions, he has been very clear that Narad Muni is. In one lecture, he says, put 2 more chairs. Have you heard that lecture? He says, put 2 more chairs. Brahma and Narad Muni are here. But by that time, disciples had understood how to behave. They didn't ask any question. They just put 2 chairs. So Srila Prabhupada is definitely an intimate servant of Narad Muni. And because Narad Muni has been established as an intimate servant of Sri Hari, so therefore both Srila Prabhupada and Narad Muni are intimate servants of Lord Sri Krishna. Servant of Lord Sri Krishna means they will propagate 3 things: the holy name, the Krishna Prasad, and the literature related to Krishna. So therefore Srila Prabhupada started massive prasadam distribution, massive Harinam Sankirtan, and massive book distribution. Anybody who does these 3 things, book distribution, prasadam distribution, and Harinam Sankirtan, falls in the category of intimate servant of Lord Hari. How many of you want to become intimate servants of Lord Krishna? Please raise your hand. So you have to do 3 things. Make lots of prasad and distribute it, distribute a lot of books, and always publicly, congregationally, loudly chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments? What were the 8 similarities which we saw? Who would like to recollect? Yes. Yes. Traveling preachers, okay. They both like to hear. Yes. Book distribution. spreaders of the holy name, deity worship. Both are renunciants